Hello, dear students, and probably some teachers also take part in today's consultation. So today we have gathered here for the last consultation of Lithuanian Foreign Language Teachers Association project, by which we want to help all the students to pass their final exam, the flying colors. So today I am going to give you final tips on the exam of English language. And at first, let me start as always, by introducing myself, because probably not all students who have gathered here know me. So let me tell that my name is Edita Liutkevičienė. I am a teacher of English in Kaunas region, Garliavos Juozo Lukšos Gymnasium, and I have kind of duty to present you with final tips on the examination. This is the consultation number 4, and in this consultation I am going to discuss some tips on the whole exam. Also, I will give tips on reading part, listening part, and in the end of consultation I will give you, my students, also some tasks to practice. But at first, I want to start with paying teachers a compliment, because if it is because of teachers that you students are in this very moment. You were prepared by teachers for the final exam, and teachers' role is very, very special in your life, on your way for your exam success. Exam preparation means revision of different concepts and solving model papers. So teachers help you to solve those model papers and to deal with those concepts. Also, teachers help you, and teachers do their best to review past assessments and identify the common mistakes that students usually make. You students yourself can sometimes recognize the mistakes, but teachers are those people who help you to identify and overcome those mistakes. Also, teachers empower students with different strategies that can help them understand questions. I mean questions which are given for you as exam tasks or exam assignments. Teachers give you power, let us say, to understand those questions and to complete the tasks successfully. Also, teachers ask you sometimes even to articulate the question in your own words, because sometimes students read the question of the task and can't understand, or they just read not very attentively, and it's teacher's job to ask you to repeat in your own words or paraphrase the task. When you do that, teacher's job is to identify pain points, where you struggle, how to help you. And sometimes, you see, it is best to practice, because, and today also I will give you some tests to practice, because when you hear, you forget. When you see, you remember. But when you do, you really understand. So teachers always keep doing this. During this pandemic period, preparation for exam, it doesn't matter for which, English exam, Lithuanian language exam, had a lot of problems, and we had to deal with technology. But teachers' role in bringing technology to class to help you to succeed in English state exam is vital. Your teachers gave you a lot of different tasks from the internet. You could say, it's easy to find the task in the internet and provide, but always think how much time teachers spend on doing that job, to bring technology in your class, to learn some technological things, to learn how to share those things via Google Classroom or Zoom. A lot of things were done by your teachers to help you to prepare for your exam. Sometimes teachers used flipped classroom. I guess lots of students tried that. When you were given some tasks or some assignments to do at home, and when you come to class, it doesn't matter virtually or face-to-face, you then start learning. So it is reverse teaching, which is called flipped classroom. And also teachers, during this last week, I am sure 100%, they will prepare and they will provide you the final tips before exam, which is in a week time, yes? And I am here also for what? For giving you final tips. So I prepared those final tips the same way as your teachers do. So consultations and all the effort done by your teachers, it's one step forward to your success in exam. Next thing, what is exam success? Sometimes it is very important in order to succeed to know the exam, the format of exam, what to expect. And I am sure that you all know what is awaiting in your English state exam. But still, my job is to remind you that English state exam is made of four parts, yes. The first part is speaking exam. We are not going to talk about that exam today. We now are focusing on the exam in written form. So at first you will be given listening exam, which will last for 30 minutes or maybe longer. As we know now from Lithuanian state exam, we know that the exam was prolonged and even it took 4 hours. So maybe it's 50% that English state exam also will be prolonged. So the listening part, it will last 30 minutes or maybe 40 minutes, then reading part for 1 hour or more, and writing. For listening exam, you will be given 4 or 5 recordings to listen to. They are of different types. And during the previous consultations, I discussed those types. And if you want, you can go to YouTube and watch the previous 3 consultations. So listening part, then you will be given to do reading part, where again 4 or 5 reading tests will be given to you to do, and finally writing part. As far as I know, on writing and speaking, LKPA consultations are prepared, so students, you can always go to LKPA members, teachers who are LKPA members, and also these consultations, I hope, also are recorded. So knowing the format of exam is very, very important, because when you feel safe, when you know what to expect, what tasks are going to be given to you, it is half of success. I think, it's my opinion, because always when you know what to do, it's half job done. Exam success is not only for the clever and hardworking people. Don't think that if I don't get only 10s and 9s in my English, so I can't succeed. No, you can succeed, really. Success comes as much, if not more, from your attitude to exams. So if you have chosen to take English state exam, it shows your attitude. So you are getting ready. You were getting ready during your 12 years at school. So attitude to exams really, really has something in common with exam success. Also, Very important is the way you approach the course of study, the course of English language lessons. If you kept going to all the classes, face-to-face or online, if you did all the assignments your teachers asked you to do, if you practiced model exams which teachers gave you to practice, so it means, again, one more step to your exam success. Also, some simple techniques which you use every day to study English. It might be next step to your exam success. I hope now you have 1 week to go until your exam starts. So please watch films. It's some technique to practice English, yes? Listen to music in English. Again, practice speaking with your foreign friends. Maybe you have some friends on the internet to whom you chat every day, or maybe some more, or even twice or thrice a day, because I have such students who always sit on the internet and practice speaking without knowing that. So your techniques which you apply to your studies also lead to exam success. Sometimes it seems to us that, yes, exams are pretty tough, and we question ourselves what to do. So the first thing is, don't panic. All exams will come and will pass. Your life is the main thing which you have to care about. So don't panic, don't be worried, relax and go to that exam. Study a little bit every day. You have 7-8 days to go. So study a little bit every day. And while studying, you have to do some breaks because your brain has a rest. So every 45 minutes, like in the lesson, yes, we have breaks. So if you study, if you read a lot, or if you practice online for speaking exam with your, maybe with your classmate via Google Meet, but be sure that you need breaks. For exam success, it is better not to study alone or not to study solo. Meet your classmates or meet your best friend, or maybe you have an older friend who is already a student. Ask him or her to let you practice with him or her. When you get to know your peers for your exam, meet them via Google Meet, okay? It is not necessary to meet face-to-face because of the pandemic, but practice with somebody. Or if you do some tasks alone, share your answers with the friend you trust, or ask teachers' help, but always don't study alone. Next tip is deal with your stress. Yes, it coincides with the first one. If I say don't panic, it is deal with your stress. You students have different personalities and you can find different ways to deal with your stress. Maybe for somebody it's enough to go to have some, to do some sports or to have some exercises in the garden or to go for a walk. For somebody, maybe it is necessary to drink some tea or have chocolate, as it is written everywhere. Eat chocolate, it helps your brain. So find the ways to deal with your stress. But believe me, I am telling you, don't panic and don't let stress overcome you. The main thing is your life, your good health, and not the exam and its results. If it happens that you need help, don't hesitate. Ask teachers, ask friends, go to tutors. Lots of possibilities, even on the internet, to find tutors, even for free, yes, who can help you to overcome some, problems which you have in this final week. When I said study a little every day, it doesn't mean that you have to study at night. No, get plenty of sleep. You have strict daily routine to get ready for exams. I am not talking only about the English exam. Every exam needs some rest, and you have to sleep at night. Night is for sleep. When the exam day comes, what to do in the evening before exam? Yes, don't forget to come to exam not being late. I mentioned that thing in the previous consultations. You can be late, but better forget this sentence. You have to be on time, and even 10 or 15 minutes prior to the exam time, because lots of, practicalities and things to do because of pandemic situation. Bring black pen. I know you did that for Lithuanian state exam, but for all exams, bring black pen. ID is the thing you must not forget. Don't bring, driver's license. You all have your IDs, so bring IDs, just not to have problems. Make the most of your morning. Get up, have breakfast, relax, listen to some smoothing, relaxing music, and don't be late for the exam. When you are in the exam room, take your time. Avoid discussions about your studies and looking into notes. Nothing can help you when there are 20 or 30 minutes to the exam time. So take your time to relax, to start worrying, and avoid discussions and unnecessary talks with your colleagues and friends or students you've studied together. Okay. During the exam, now I am talking in general, yeah? During the exam, as you can see on my slide, time management. Time management is very, very important. Starting from not being late to the exam, and then timing for every task in English state exam. During the exam, read all the exam instructions very carefully, and allocate or give some time for each question, and keep an eye on the clock. Be sure that you can see the clock or you have your own watch, because you need to follow the time in order to complete all the tasks on time. Because different exam parts, different time limit. I already mentioned listening 30, probably more minutes. Reading only 1 hour, or hopefully it will be prolonged for more, I don't know for how many minutes. Sometimes if you don't know the answer to a question, you can skip it and return to it later, but always keep an eye on the clock. About leaving the exam early. All my students have always been asking a question. If I did everything correctly, can I leave the exam earlier? Okay, you can, but it's better not to do that. So never leave an exam early. Use your time given to fully complete and revise your answers. And remember, you can only do your best, only you. Nobody and nothing can help you. You will come to exam room having only pen and your ID. Your mobile phones will be left outside. No dictionaries, no computers as in Lithuanian state exam. Nothing, just you, your knowledge, your watch, or maybe the clock on the wall. So be sure that you do your best and manage your time. When it comes to exam, we all have to be aware of understanding the marking scheme. As you all know, your state exam will be given 100 points. 25 points for your speaking exam, where you can get, I hope, all of them, because our students, I mean my students and you students who are present here and students behind the screen, you have very good speaking skills, but you don't have to be afraid of speaking. The main thing is concentrate on the topic and try to act as if you were talking with your friend in Lithuanian. Just you will have to do that in English. So don't be afraid of your mistakes. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. For speaking exam, 25 points, it's the thing you all can get for sure, I'm sure. So listening exam, 25 points. Reading, 25 points. And writing, again, 25 points. So when you know the marking scheme, and when you know that 100 points you will be given, so it is also a step to your exam success. Here I have to remind you, as I did earlier, you will be given exam paper. That exam paper is for you. You can do there what you want. All the answers will be transferred on the answer sheet. I am sure your teachers showed you and even maybe printed answer sheets for you to practice. So if some of the teachers didn't do that, which I don't believe, ask teachers to show you answer sheet, because on the answer sheet you are also not allowed to make mistakes, because reading and listening part will be assessed by computer through scanning. Yes, so please be aware how to write the answers onto the answer sheet and not to make mistakes. So if you know what to do, if you were preparing, if your teachers were of great help to you, I think you will pass your exam. It's only exam. So now let's turn to this next part. Let's talk a little bit, and I will give kind of revision of some tips for listening part, because it was my job to speak only on listening and reading exam. So reading and listening, it's written on my slide. Yes, it is interrelated. It is very important to apply your reading skills during listening exam. Why? Because you have to read the questions very, very carefully. I keep repeating that one more time. To read, it means to understand and to comprehend, not to believe your eyes while seeing the task that, oh, I know how to do that. No, read every single word in the instruction, because it's of great help to you. So questions must be read very, very carefully. In your exam paper for your listening test, please do what you want on that paper. So it means you can underline the key information in the question. Underline the key word. If the exam task asks you, you will hear a doctor giving advice about avoiding illness. The keyword, doctor, illness. In the task, again, you can underline the keywords. By doing this, you will guess what is going to be said in the recording. If there are options for the listening test, read all the options very, very carefully, because always two of the options are not necessary at all, but two of them are those which you have to differentiate and to listen very, very carefully. So all the options should be read. If questions or options have numbers or some dates or even some keywords in capital letters or whatever, say them to yourself. I don't mean say them very loud because you are in the exam room, you have to be silent and not to disturb yourself and your friend sitting besides you. But say, let us say, mentally to yourself, and this will help you think about the way they sound, and it will help you to listen and to hear those words. If there are pictures given, nobody knows. You might be given pictures for listening test. So look carefully at them and think about all possible words to describe those pictures in English. In such a way, you will prepare yourself for the words you might hear in the recording. If I try to describe that picture, there are not so many words. Yes, there are synonyms, but still, it will be easier for you to listen and to hear them. Why it is important to read those instructions? So when you look at the questions for listening task, you can predict what do you know about the topic. For example, I am going to give you tests for listening, and the first task will be, you will hear doctor giving advice about avoiding illness. So what we have to do? Our topic is health, illnesses, and doctors. What do I know about the topic? From my experience, from my life, maybe from the lessons I had on the topic health. So anything you know about the topic, even in your own language, you can think in Lithuanian, yes, even in your own language, it will help you to predict what is going to be said in the recording. If there are some pictures given or headings, what information it gives to us. Again, we can predict, okay, if there is a picture of the boat or the ship on the sea, probably I will be listening to some recording about sails, people at sea, yes? So I can predict and to compare my predictions with the recording which I am going to hear. Also, we can predict by questioning the vocabulary of the topic. What vocabulary do you know about the topic? We can predict which words might be in the listening. Again, let's go back to my task. Doctor giving advice about avoiding illness. Okay, what words I can hear? Vitamins, maybe some routine to help to keep you health, maybe some doctors, no, lots of words. So predicting which words might appear in the recording. Again, it will help you to relax, to listen, to understand, to comprehend, and to complete the task successfully. Also, any ideas you have before you listen in English or even in your own language will help you understand the recording which is going to be played for you. As always, the recording in your state exam will be played twice. Always look for clues which can help you predict before you listen. Predict as much as it is possible, and listen for what? For confirmation of your predictions. If you predict, then listen to approve or disapprove your predictions. When the listening tasks are given, it is also very necessary to understand who is going to speak on the recording or even how many of them. So knowing how many different voices you are going to hear will help you prepare before you listen to the text. There is sometimes information in the question which will give you an idea of who is speaking, and you can start to imagine the scenario. How many speakers are going to speak? Again, you will hear a doctor giving advice. So probably only one, or maybe there will be one more person to whom the doctor is talking. So Look at the instructions and try to guess. Is it a dialogue? Is it a monologue? Or maybe it is an interview. So if so, the interviewer's questions may be the same as your questions. This also will help you listen for the answer. Always predict and look for how many people are going to speak in the recording. Talking about listening test. While you are listening to the text and you are in exam room, you need concentration of all 100%. You can't be disrupted by anything, by dog barking outside the window, by your friend sitting beside playing with pen. So you yourself, please do not do that. The main thing is concentration. This is not a time for looking out of the window or thinking about what you are going to do after the exam, or am I being successful after the exam or no? How many points I will get? Then it will be later. Don't think about such things during your listening task, during the whole exam. The actual listening part of most tests is short in comparison with the whole amount of time devoted to the exam, 3 or 3.5 hours, 30 or 40 minutes for listening. It's really short time. So it's not so difficult to concentrate and focus on the listening and only on the exam. And again, the key sentence of all my consultations: don't panic, don't worry. Nothing bad will happen. Nothing bad. No, if you fail, you can resit your exam. It is not so important. The main thing is your mental state, your health. So don't panic if you don't understand everything in the task, or if you don't get everything in the recording. That is that you have to listen for the general idea at first. When you listen for the first time, listen for the general idea or gist. Try to understand what is going on in the recording, what is the situation, who is speaking, why, where, and so on and so forth. Also, keep in mind that in the recordings for the listening test, it's proven the important key words or ideas will be stressed. Believe me, they will be stressed. They are usually said louder and slower than other words. The words that are not stressed are not usually as important as the words that are stressed for completing your task. So don't panic and listen to the stressed words. In general, listen for the important key words. Don't listen for every word. For understanding what is going on in the recording, you don't need to know every single word. The main idea, it's okay. So that was about listening test. Short recommendations and tips. And now let us turn to reading test. The first things come first. As you can see, 60 minutes on my screen. So it means, I mentioned earlier, that only 60 minutes, it means 1 hour or maybe a little bit more this very special year, is given for the reading test. So planning of your time is very important, even vital for successful completion of reading test. There is nothing worse than failing an exam because you run out of time to answer all the questions. So when you start the exam, I mean after the listening is done, the reading exam, ask yourself, how much time I have for the test? The answer is 60 or more minutes. You will be provided with the information. You will see the time written on your exam paper, the first page of your exam paper. So if there is written 60 minutes, okay, so you have only 60 minutes. And when you start your reading test, keep an eye on your watch or on the clock and somehow divide all those minutes into the parts for listening test. So how many texts do you have to read? It used to be 4 or 5 texts, from the easiest to the most difficult. So 10, 15 minutes for one reading text. If the text is easy, I mean the very first part is almost very easy, so maybe you will complete it quicker, but the parts which are the last ones most often are the most difficult. So maybe you will have to give and devote your precious time, even 20 minutes for one test. So you have to plan your time. Work out how much time you can spend. 60 or 80 minutes, divide into the number of texts, and you will know how much time you have. Also, leave a few minutes at the end to check your answers. Here we have a problem, yes? You students sometimes do the very first test very successfully, but then when you come to check your answers, you change your answers. I have been working as an assessor in state exam, and I saw how many students lost their points for checking the exams for the second time, answers for the second time. So you should know yourself better. Are you the person who has good intuition and good knowledge and does the reading test for the very first time correctly, and you don't need to come back for checking? Or you are the person who always provides better answers when you do that for the second time while checking? So I think during 12 years at school, you know what kind of learner you are. Okay, and again, the sentence, reading for reading. If reading is very important for listening, so for reading, it's vital. Don't rush when you are reading the instructions and the questions. Take your time to make sure you understand exactly what you have to do. Always read the questions, instructions carefully. Sometimes there is not only the task marked true or false. Sometimes it could be written not given or doesn't say. If you are used to the tasks which teachers gave you to do and practice, where there were only true, false, not given, in the exam it might appear that no words not given, but the words doesn't say. So read instructions very carefully. Underline the key information in the question. It's the same as I said what to do during the listening test. During the reading test, you can underline everything you need in the whole text which are given to you. All the lines which answer the question, all the keywords, everything, and check later that you have answered the questions correctly. So reading for reading is vital. As I mentioned in some previous consultations when I was talking about only reading tests, you should be aware of some reading strategies while you read. The first is you have to read for general idea, and that is called skimming. I guess you know, I'm just reminding you. Skimming is that you read very quickly from the very beginning to the very end, just to get a general idea of the text. This is very important for the reading tests when you are asked to match the paragraph headings to the paragraphs themselves. It's very important. Scanning, it's next strategy. So you scan the text to find specific information. As you read the text, you must circle some numbers, some dates, maybe some names are given in the text, so you just underline. It means I scan for some clues or for some ideas or for some suggestions for the answers to my task. And then reading for detail. When you read and try to answer the question, you are looking for specific information, and the second time you read the text, you will be looking only for details and specific information. And during this reading for detail, you have to read slowly and very carefully. You will have to read some parts of the text again and again, especially for the reading tasks, which will be given the last ones. It always used to be like this. The most difficult will be the number 5, number 4 tasks. Is there any difficult question you can't answer? Okay, leave it, but keep in mind time management. You can leave and come back at the end, but time management is vital. Don't waste a lot of time on difficult questions you can't answer. If sometimes happens that really, I don't know the answer, what to do? I don't understand any single word. Okay, students, guess the answer. Don't leave blank spaces. Maybe guessing will help you to get that particular point. So don't waste a lot of time panicking or worrying. Just guess if it is really very difficult. Sometimes we have a question. Where is the answer in the text? So finding the answer is the main objective in a reading exam. And usually, some tip I can give you. Usually, questions refer to information in the text in chronological order. For example, the first question refers to information at the beginning of the text. The second refers to information in the next part, and it follows until the end. Also, it is important to find the paragraph in the text that is connected to that question. Read the question again and then return to the text to find the answer. Underline or highlight the parts of the text that help you focus and find exactly the right answers. So these tips really will help you. Reading test is very kind of difficult because you have to read long texts, not short paragraphs, yeah? And here we have in a process of having problems with vocabulary issues, yeah? There will usually be some words in the text that you don't understand. Even me, I am not a native speaker. I also don't know a lot of words. Sometimes students know better than me, but it's our job to prepare you to become such good students, knowing a better vocabulary than teachers. Okay, we're happy about that. So there will always be some words in the text that you don't understand. And the important thing is to be able to read around the unknown words. And the first thing here is don't worry. Use the context to help you understand the meaning. Read the whole sentence and the sentences before and after. Then decide what type of word it is, which I don't know. Is it a noun according to the sentence structure? Is it a verb? Or maybe it's an adjective, adverb that might help you to come out with the word. Does the word have positive or negative meaning? We know some prefixes, yeah, which indicate that this is negative. So maybe you will apply your knowledge you have. Look for synonyms in the text. Most often, well-written text, and especially for exam, texts number 4 and 5, use synonyms rather than repeating the same word. So if you don't know the word, it may be a synonym of another word in the text. If it is not of great help, then think about topic. Look at the text. This text is about, I will give you the text, winds of change. Okay, it will be about the wind power. What do I know about this topic? Which words do you know are related to this topic? Maybe really you are good at physics and you know much more than me about wind turbines and all wind market in the world. So thinking about the topic also can help you. Is the word similar to another word you know? No, for example, if I don't know the word birth, maybe I know the word birthday with the same stem. Is the word similar to a word in your language? Here we have in mind a lot of words which sound similar and have the same meaning in all the languages. That also might be of great help. Always you can use these consultations because they are recorded and you can do the tasks and have the answers. And now I also prepared some reading tasks only for 20 minutes. But we have only 10 minutes left. So I think students and teachers who are still here, you can do those tasks on your own. And if you need any answers or anything related to those reading tasks, go to Google Classroom. Go to Google Classroom. Again, I am repeating my screen with the link. There you will find the answers and the reading tasks, which you can practice with your teachers. And if it happens that you need answers, you can write me an email and I will give you the answers, because if I leave answers in the Google Classroom, no, but probably I will put the answers into Google Classroom because I believe all our students are very, honest people. They want to try and they want to practice. So thank you very much for staying with me, and letting me to share my, let us say, some kind of knowledge, because really I am not the person who knows everything. I just try to do my best and to share all my knowledge and practice and experience with those who were with me. So thank you very much, and let us meet in the future face to face. And I wish all teachers and all students the very best. I hope the exam of English language will be the best one with results. So goodbye and have a good day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.